And I wanted to give you my thoughts and my opinions of a weightlifting belt. Now, my opinion used to be that I don't like using a weightlifting belt because I felt like that it was cheating. I like going raw. You know, one of the things, if you just to know a little tidbit information about me, I used to perform magic as a teenager, as a little dork, doing card tricks. I was actually quite good. And I was in high school, middle school, high school, and I would perform magic tricks. And the one thing I liked a lot is being able to get a deck of cards and perform an entire routine. That's just sort of my thing. Now, and for weightlifting, you want to show how strong you are without having to use all this fancy equipment. And you know, I've kind of come back and forth with the idea of cheating, not cheating. Should you use a weight belt or should you not? You know, I'm a big believer that you should only use a weight belt when you absolutely need it. You know, so if you're like in sports, you know, like, or in powerlifting for that matter, you're allowed to wear a weight belt. You're allowed to wear knee wraps or sleeves depending on what style you're competing in. It's all about the sport and your specificity for what the reason is. A lot of the time I see bodybuilders with weight belts, and you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Here's the reality. Look, when you wear a weight belt, it allows you to protect your back, create more pressure in the stomach and core region, allowing you to lift more weight and do more work. And if you do more work, you're going to get more hypertrophy. You're going to get more size. And not only if you stay tighter, you're going to be able to lift more weight, do more volume, do more intensity. So there's a big carryover. However, learning that depending on it is bad, because then once you take off the belt, you basically lose all your strength. So kind of what I do, you can take my ideas, is that I will alternate using the belt and not using the belt. Essentially, I go up to a point where I have to use the belt, or if I'm doing lots of work. Like if I'm doing one set of heavy squats somewhere in the 85% of my 1 rep max, 90%, I'll wear a weight belt. If I'm only doing one set, for example, I will try without the weight belt. It all depends on how I feel. And I've kind of been mixing and matching these different ideas with using the weightlifting belt. The one thing to realize with this is that it's a training tool. Just understand that. And it's just training. You know, people will say, oh, this is the best way to bench, or this is the best grip. It's better if you have your feet straight or your feet turned out, or you should do sumo or you do conventional deadlift. Dumbbells are better than bench press. You know, the truth is that it's all training. You're training your body to get stronger, better, whatever it is to be. Like for me, powerlifting, to get stronger. Bodybuilding, trying to get bigger, trying to work on your weak areas that are lacking on the stage for bodybuilding. Or if you're just trying to look better, it almost makes no sense to not have a weight belt in your routine. However, I really think that you need to get to a certain base level of strength based on your weight and height. So I deadlifted without a belt for a very long time. Essentially, I got to a 440 deadlift or a 425 deadlift without a belt. And I did that because I wanted to train my abdomen, my core, my back. I wanted to build myself up without the belt. And as I started getting heavier and heavier, then I started to use the belt. And I would use it very sparingly for the particular reason of trying to make sure that I'm learning how to use my abdomen and core. Now, wearing a belt and other exercises like the bench press or maybe overhead press, I think bench press, is I've used it with the bench press. I don't feel like it helps a whole lot, but my technique has changed a little bit. I've been doing a lot more arching. I've been doing a lot more kind of a powerlifter style bent. I have to pause, I have to stay tighter. So I'm finding that the belt's going to probably help since my technique has changed over the last 2 weeks, or since I've been working on the pause bench recently, and since I've been doing the pause bench, which is competition style. Man, you know, after 4 sets, like after 3 or 4 sets of like 2 or 3 reps with pause bench, my lats were on fire, and my rectors, my spinal erectors were freaking super tight, and I felt like they were about to cramp. As I got heavier and got a little bit more warm, it kind of stopped. So I stopped feeling like that. I didn't have my belt at the time. But again, I like the idea of using a belt only when you absolutely need it. But that's one reason to use a belt. The other reason to use a belt is if you're doing very high volume training. I did this one program where I would squat every day, I would deadlift every day, I would overhead press every day, believe it or not. I would do 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps at 70% of my 1 RM, and that was a pretty brutal workout program. I was essentially, after about 3 or 4 weeks, I got super strong, and my motor patterns, movements were really good. I got actually pretty flexible with the squat. I mean, imagine if you're squatting ass to grass 5 days a week, it's gonna make you more flexible because you're gonna get better at it. But one thing I do remember is when I got down to the bottom, man, that shit I mean, basically after the third day or fourth day, your lower back gets really tired. But then your muscles are pretty strong. Like, that's what I've noticed. My muscles are really strong. I can handle some good weight, but my stomach and lower back couldn't. So using the belt helped a lot with staying secure and staying tight. One of the things that help when you wear a weight belt is it allows to obviously create more pressure, but it helps the nervous system fire better. I don't know, I forget the exact reason why that happens, but being able to do that will allow you to obviously lift more weight and do more volume. Because remember, volume, intensity are the things that you kind of mix and match when you're trying to put on muscle size, muscle strength, or lift more weight, in my case for powerlifting. And those are the two main things I think that are important for using the weight belt. It's all about using it. It's a training tool. Like, for example, straps. I'm not a fan of straps, but I've been lacking in certain areas in my lower body or my upper back, and I don't know how to use straps. So I'm having trouble learning how to use straps. They just fucking feel hella weird. So it's kind of like, you know, they're training tools. You'll use straps so that you can get more reps in, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's all about using the tool for the appropriate use. I don't think you should use these tools all the time, but again, as long as it serves your purpose and it serves your goal, that's when you should use a weight belt. I think if you're not used to using a weight belt, like my wife, she's powerlifting with me on the February event in Vacaville, and I only want her wearing a weight belt when she's around 85–90% of her max, you know, so that she feels a little more confident and she can pull. But after that, no weight belt, because she's still trying to get that base level of strength, and I don't want to have her do that until she's essentially near 300 pounds or near over, basically a 250-ish range. So anyways, hope you liked this video. If you learned something from it and you enjoyed it, please click like. It helps me out a lot. Click subscribe to support my channel, and share with a friend if they have any questions about weight belts. And thanks for watching.